What if I told you that the people who hold the greatest power in conversations are usually the ones who speak the least? In a world where everyone competes to be heard, quiet people often become the ones nobody forgets. Their influence doesn't come from louder voices, sharper arguments, or endless talking. It comes from something far more powerful: control. Welcome to today's audiobook. Today, we'll uncover the hidden psychology behind quiet confidence, strategic silence, and effortless influence. You'll discover why the calmest person in the room often controls its direction, how silence changes the way people think, and the simple habits that make others naturally respect and trust you. This audiobook is divided into 15 powerful parts. Each part reveals another layer of psychological influence that can completely transform the way you communicate. Listen until the very end, because the final lesson brings every idea together into one life-changing principle. Now, let's begin. Most people assume influence belongs to the loudest voice in the room. Reality tells a completely different story. The individuals who leave the deepest impression rarely compete for attention because they understand something others overlook. Speaking constantly reduces the value of your words, while thoughtful silence increases their impact. Quiet people naturally create curiosity because they never reveal everything at once. Instead of chasing validation through endless conversation, they allow their calm presence to speak before their words ever do. That single habit changes how others perceive them, creating respect, trust, authority, and lasting influence almost effortlessly every day. Human beings are naturally attracted to mystery. When someone talks without stopping, people quickly predict what will come next, and attention slowly disappears. Quiet individuals create the opposite effect. They pause before speaking, choose their words carefully, and leave room for others to think. Those brief moments of silence trigger curiosity inside the listener's mind. Instead of ignoring the speaker, people lean closer and pay greater attention. This psychological principle explains why fewer words often carry greater weight. The value of communication is measured not by quantity, but by intention, timing, confidence, and emotional control alone. Think about the most respected leader, mentor, or teacher you've ever known. They probably weren't speaking every second. They listened with patience, observed carefully, and responded only when their words truly mattered. Their silence never felt awkward because it reflected confidence instead of insecurity. Quiet people understand that listening provides information, while constant talking often gives information away. Every conversation becomes easier to guide when you understand more than you reveal. This is the first secret behind conversational influence. But another hidden principle makes quiet people even more persuasive, and that's exactly where we're going next. Most conversations are not controlled by the person who speaks first. They are controlled by the person who understands emotions better than everyone else. Quiet people carefully observe facial expressions, tone of voice, body language, and subtle reactions before responding. While others rush to express opinions, they collect valuable information. every pause becomes an opportunity to understand what someone truly feels instead of simply hearing what they say. This ability allows them to respond with precision rather than impulse. As a result, their words solve problems, calm emotions, and naturally earn the respect of everyone present. Another powerful habit of quiet people is asking meaningful questions instead of delivering endless opinions. Great questions shift the focus toward the other person, making them feel respected, understood, and valued. As people continue sharing their thoughts, they unknowingly reveal motivations, fears, and hidden emotions. Quiet individuals simply listen without interrupting or competing for attention. This creates an invisible bond built on trust rather than persuasion. Ironically, the less they speak about themselves, the more others appreciate their presence. People remember those who made them feel understood far longer than those who constantly talked about themselves. Silence becomes truly powerful when combined with patience. Many people fear even a few seconds of quiet because they assume they must immediately fill every pause. Quiet people understand the opposite. They allow silence to exist naturally, giving others time to think and often encouraging them to reveal even more. These thoughtful pauses create emotional comfort instead of pressure. The conversation becomes deeper, calmer, and more meaningful. This simple habit quietly shifts influence without arguments or force. But the next lesson reveals an even greater secret that transforms silence into undeniable confidence and lasting authority. Confidence is often misunderstood as speaking boldly, dominating conversations, or always having the perfect answer. True confidence looks completely different. It remains calm under pressure, listens without becoming defensive, and never feels the need to prove its worth. Quiet people understand this instinctively. They know confidence is revealed through emotional stability, not verbal volume. Because they aren't desperate for approval, their presence feels secure and trustworthy. Others naturally sense this emotional strength and begin respecting their opinions before they even speak. Genuine confidence isn't announced. It is quietly demonstrated through consistent behavior and self-control every day. One of the greatest advantages quiet people possess is their ability to think before responding. Instead of reacting emotionally, they create a brief pause that allows logic to guide their words. This simple habit prevents unnecessary conflicts, misunderstandings, and regrets. While others become trapped by impulsive reactions, quiet individuals choose thoughtful responses that solve problems rather than create them. Their words feel balanced because they are supported by reflection instead of emotion. Over time, people begin trusting their judgment, seeking their advice, and valuing their perspective because it consistently brings clarity during difficult conversations and uncertain situations. People often remember how someone made them feel more than the exact words they used. Quiet individuals understand this powerful truth. They create conversations where others feel respected, heard, and emotionally safe. That experience leaves a lasting impression impossible to achieve through endless talking alone. Influence grows naturally when people associate your presence with calmness, wisdom, and understanding. Every thoughtful conversation strengthens your reputation without requiring attention or recognition. But communication is only one piece of the puzzle. The next lesson reveals how body language silently communicates authority before a single word is ever spoken. Before you speak, your body has already introduced you. Research in human psychology suggests people form first impressions within seconds, often before a conversation truly begins. Quiet people understand this silent language exceptionally well. They maintain steady eye contact without staring, stand with relaxed confidence, and avoid restless movements that reveal nervousness. Their posture communicates certainty long before their voice does. Because their body language matches their calm demeanor, others instinctively perceive them as trustworthy, capable, and emotionally secure. True authority is often communicated without words, making physical presence one of the strongest forms of influence available. Another reason quiet people influence conversations is because they never chase approval. They don't constantly seek agreement, interrupt others, or desperately defend every opinion. Instead, they remain comfortable with disagreement while treating everyone respectfully. This emotional independence makes their confidence feel genuine rather than forced. Ironically, people are more likely to respect someone who doesn't constantly ask for respect. The quieter individual remains focused on understanding instead of winning. That mindset reduces tension, encourages honest dialogue, and creates meaningful conversations where ideas are explored thoughtfully instead of becoming emotional battles driven by fragile egos and pride. Every conversation presents two choices. You can react automatically, or you can respond intentionally. Quiet people master the second approach by slowing their minds before opening their mouths. They recognize that every word either builds trust or weakens it. Instead of speaking simply to avoid silence, they contribute only when their message adds genuine value. This discipline transforms ordinary conversations into opportunities for influence and connection. Once you develop this habit, people begin listening differently because they know your words always have purpose. But an even greater communication secret is waiting in the next part. One of the greatest communication mistakes people make is believing they must always have the perfect answer. Quiet people understand that certainty isn't built by speaking first, but by understanding deeply. They willingly admit when they don't know something, ask thoughtful questions, and remain open to learning. This humility strengthens their credibility instead of weakening it. People naturally trust those who value truth more than appearing intelligent. By removing the pressure to always sound impressive, quiet individuals create authentic conversations where honesty replaces ego. That authenticity becomes one of their strongest sources of lasting influence and respect. Quiet people also understand the incredible power of emotional regulation. When someone becomes angry, defensive, or impatient, they rarely mirror those emotions. Instead, they remain calm and composed, preventing negativity from controlling the conversation. Their steady behavior often encourages others to lower their emotional intensity as well. This creates an environment where rational thinking replaces emotional reactions. Remaining calm during difficult discussions is not a sign of weakness. It is a demonstration of inner strength. The person who controls their emotions usually gains greater influence than the person attempting to control everyone else. Respect is never demanded through louder voices or stronger arguments. It grows naturally from consistent actions, emotional intelligence, and genuine character. Quiet people earn respect because they make others feel valued without seeking attention for themselves. every conversation becomes an opportunity to build trust instead of proving superiority. Over time, this quiet consistency shapes a powerful reputation that speaks long before they enter a room. Influence built through character lasts far longer than influence built through force. But the next lesson reveals an even deeper psychological principle. Quiet people understand that influence begins long before words are spoken. Their calm presence immediately creates comfort, making others feel safe enough to express honest thoughts. Instead of dominating conversations, they invite openness through patience and genuine attention. This simple habit transforms ordinary discussions into meaningful connections. People naturally trust those who make them feel heard, rather than those constantly trying to impress everyone around them with endless, unnecessary talking. Every conversation contains valuable information hidden beneath spoken words. Quiet individuals pay close attention to facial expressions, voice changes, pauses, and body language. These subtle signals often reveal emotions that words attempt to hide. By noticing these details, they respond with empathy instead of assumptions. Their awareness allows them to understand people more deeply, creating stronger relationships and making their responses more effective, genuinely respected everywhere. Powerful communicators know that timing matters as much as language itself. Quiet people avoid interrupting because they understand every pause creates space for reflection. Speaking after careful observation gives their words greater impact and credibility. Others begin expecting thoughtful responses instead of emotional reactions. Over time, this consistency builds authority naturally, proving that patience often influences conversations more effectively than speaking first or speaking the loudest every single time. Another remarkable quality of quiet people is emotional discipline. They refuse to let anger, frustration, or insecurity control their behavior. Even during difficult discussions, they remain composed and respectful. This calm attitude encourages others to lower their emotional defenses as well. Conversations become focused on understanding instead of winning arguments. The ability to remain emotionally balanced often becomes the hidden advantage that separates influential communicators from ordinary speakers in everyday life. Real influence never depends on speaking more than everyone else. It depends on creating trust, showing wisdom, and choosing words with intention. Quiet people master these principles through consistency rather than performance. Every thoughtful conversation strengthens their reputation and deepens meaningful relationships. Once you understand this mindset, you'll realize silence isn't empty at all. It's one of the most powerful communication tools you'll ever need to use. Quiet people rarely try to win every conversation because they understand that influence grows through connection, not competition. They focus on making others feel respected rather than defeated. This mindset removes unnecessary conflict and builds genuine trust. When people feel emotionally safe, they become more open, honest, and willing to listen. Real communication begins when the desire to understand becomes stronger than the desire to prove yourself right every time. Listening with complete attention is one of the rarest skills in today's distracted world. Quiet people avoid understand both spoken words and hidden emotions. Their thoughtful responses feel personal and meaningful, making others believe they are truly valued instead of simply being heard for a brief moment. Strong communicators understand that confidence doesn't require constant agreement. Quiet people remain comfortable when others hold different opinions because their identity isn't built upon winning arguments. They ask questions, stay curious, and explore different perspectives without becoming defensive. This emotional maturity creates productive conversations where ideas can flow freely. People naturally admire those who remain calm even when facing disagreement or criticism from others around them. Every meaningful conversation leaves an emotional memory behind. Quiet people consciously create positive experiences through kindness, patience, and sincere attention. Long after specific words are forgotten, people remember how someone made them feel. This emotional impact becomes the foundation of lasting influence. By valuing relationships above personal recognition, quiet individuals earn trust that cannot be achieved through impressive speeches or endless self-promotion alone. Mastering conversations begins with mastering yourself. Every pause, every thoughtful question, and every calm response strengthens your presence without demanding attention. Quiet confidence isn't about speaking less forever. It's about speaking with purpose whenever your words truly matter. Once you learn this balance, every interaction becomes more powerful. But the next lesson reveals a surprising habit that instantly makes quiet people unforgettable in every conversation they enter. Quiet people understand that every conversation has an emotional rhythm. Instead of interrupting that rhythm, they patiently follow it. They know when to speak, when to pause, and when silence communicates more than another sentence ever could. This awareness creates comfort, allowing others to relax and express themselves honestly. The result is deeper conversations where trust develops naturally, without pressure, manipulation, or unnecessary effort from either person involved. One powerful habit of quiet individuals is remembering small details about people. They notice names, interests, personal stories, and important moments others often forget. Later, they naturally mention these details, making people feel genuinely appreciated. This simple practice strengthens relationships because everyone wants to feel seen and understood. Influence grows when people believe you truly care, not because you seek attention, but because your interest feels sincere and authentic. Quiet confidence also means becoming comfortable with uncertainty. You don't need immediate answers for every question or instant solutions for every problem. Taking a thoughtful pause before responding demonstrates maturity and self-control. People often respect carefully considered answers more than quick reactions. This patience prevents unnecessary mistakes while showing others that your words are guided by wisdom instead of impulse, emotion, or the desire to impress everyone around you. Many people believe influence comes from changing someone else's opinion. Quiet people understand something greater. They first seek to understand another person's perspective before offering their own. This approach removes resistance and encourages cooperation instead of conflict. When people feel understood, they naturally become more willing to listen. Understanding always creates stronger influence than arguing, making respectful curiosity one of the greatest communication skills anyone can develop today. Every meaningful conversation is an opportunity to build trust, strengthen relationships, and quietly shape how people remember you. Quiet individuals never waste those opportunities through careless words or emotional reactions. They communicate with intention, patience, and authenticity. These qualities create lasting influence that continues long after the conversation ends. Yet one essential habit remains, and it may be the defining difference between respected communicators and ordinary speakers.
Quiet people understand that not every opinion deserves an immediate response. They carefully choose which conversations deserve their energy and which should simply be ignored. This discipline protects their peace and prevents unnecessary conflicts. Instead of reacting to every criticism, they remain focused on what truly matters. Their calm restraint demonstrates maturity, making others respect their judgment because they refuse to waste time on meaningless arguments or emotional distractions.
Another powerful characteristic of quiet individuals is their ability to remain curious. Rather than assuming they already know everything, they ask thoughtful questions and genuinely listen to different viewpoints. This open mindset expands their understanding while making others feel respected. People naturally enjoy conversations with someone who values learning instead of proving superiority. Curiosity transforms ordinary discussions into opportunities for growth, connection, and deeper mutual understanding between people every single day.
Quiet people also recognize that confidence doesn't require constant validation. They don't depend on compliments, attention, or approval to feel valuable. Their confidence comes from knowing who they are and staying true to their principles. This inner security allows them to communicate with honesty and calmness. Others naturally trust individuals who remain authentic, regardless of changing opinions, social pressure, or the need to impress those around them. Influential communicators understand the importance of consistency. Quiet people behave with the same respect, patience, and integrity, whether they are speaking to strangers, friends, or leaders. Because their character remains steady, people know exactly what to expect from them. Trust grows through repeated actions, not impressive speeches. Over time, this consistency becomes a silent reputation that opens doors and strengthens relationships without demanding recognition or praise from anyone.
The greatest conversations are never controlled through louder voices or stronger arguments. They are guided by wisdom, patience, and emotional awareness. Quiet people master these qualities until influence becomes a natural part of their presence. Every thoughtful interaction strengthens their reputation and deepens their relationships. But the journey isn't over yet. The next lesson reveals how silence becomes a powerful leadership skill that inspires trust, confidence, and lasting respect. Quiet people often become exceptional leaders because they lead through actions instead of promises. They inspire confidence by remaining calm during pressure, making thoughtful decisions, and treating everyone with respect. Their leadership isn't built on fear or authority, but on trust and consistency. People willingly follow those who demonstrate wisdom through everyday behavior. Quiet leadership creates stronger teams because it encourages cooperation, responsibility, and mutual respect instead of competition or unnecessary conflict. One remarkable quality of quiet leaders is their willingness to give others credit. They celebrate the achievements of their team without demanding attention for themselves. This humility builds loyalty and motivates people to perform their best. Instead of creating followers who depend on them, they develop confident individuals capable of thinking independently. True leadership isn't measured by personal recognition. It's measured by the growth, confidence, and success of the people around you.
Difficult situations reveal a person's true character. Quiet individuals rarely panic when facing uncertainty because they understand that emotional control creates better decisions. While others react with fear or frustration, they remain patient and focused. Their calm mindset helps them identify practical solutions instead of becoming overwhelmed by problems. This steady approach inspires confidence in everyone nearby, making others naturally trust their judgment during life's most challenging moments together. Quiet influence also comes from reliability. People know they can depend on someone who consistently keeps promises, respects boundaries, and communicates honestly. Trust is built through repeated actions rather than impressive words. Every fulfilled commitment strengthens credibility, while every broken promise weakens it. Quiet people protect their reputation by ensuring their actions always support their words. This integrity becomes one of the strongest foundations of meaningful influence and lasting respect. Every conversation, decision, and relationship offers an opportunity to demonstrate quiet strength. By listening carefully, responding thoughtfully, and acting with integrity, you naturally become someone others admire and trust. Influence doesn't require controlling people. It requires controlling yourself first. Once you master that principle, leadership becomes effortless. But one final set of lessons remains, revealing how quiet confidence leaves a lasting impact long after every conversation has ended. Quietly, understand that every meaningful relationship is built upon trust rather than constant conversation. They never feel pressured to fill every silence because they know genuine connections don't require endless words. Their calm presence allows others to feel comfortable expressing honest thoughts without fear of judgment. This emotional safety strengthens relationships over time, making quiet individuals the people others naturally trust, respect, and confidently seek during life's most important moments. Another secret of quiet influence is knowing when to walk away. Not every disagreement deserves your attention, and not every opinion requires your response. Quiet people protect their peace by choosing meaningful discussions instead of emotional battles. This self-discipline prevents unnecessary stress while preserving energy for conversations that truly matter. The ability to leave negativity behind demonstrates maturity, confidence, and remarkable emotional intelligence that others quietly admire every single day. Quiet individuals understand that confidence grows through consistent self-improvement rather than public recognition. They spend more time developing knowledge, skills, and character than seeking applause from others. This private growth creates visible results that speak louder than self-promotion ever could. People naturally notice those who improve themselves without announcing every achievement. True confidence becomes impossible to ignore because it is reflected through actions, discipline, and everyday behavior instead of empty words. Influence becomes lasting when people associate presence with wisdom, honesty, and emotional stability. Quiet people consistently create this impression by remaining respectful under pressure and thoughtful during important conversations. They understand that every interaction shapes their reputation. Over time, this quiet consistency becomes their greatest advantage. Without demanding attention, they earn admiration through character alone, proving that genuine influence is always stronger than temporary popularity or loud self-promotion. By now, you've discovered that quiet people influence others through patience, observation, emotional control, and purposeful communication. These habits habits require practice, but their rewards last a lifetime. Every conversation becomes an opportunity to strengthen trust and demonstrate quiet confidence. Yet the journey isn't complete. The next lesson reveals how mastering your inner dialogue transforms the way you communicate with the entire world around you forever.
Every conversation begins inside your own mind before a single word is spoken. Quiet people develop a positive inner dialogue that keeps them calm, focused, and emotionally balanced. Instead of worrying about others' opinions, they concentrate on listening, understanding, and responding with ease. This mental discipline reduces anxiety and increases confidence. When your thoughts become peaceful, your communication naturally becomes clearer, stronger, and far more influential in every situation you face. Quiet individuals never confuse silence with weakness. They recognize it as a strategic tool that creates space for thoughtful decisions and meaningful responses. Rather than speaking simply to avoid uncomfortable pauses, they wait until their words add genuine value. This habit makes every sentence more memorable and impactful. Over time, people begin expecting wisdom whenever they speak, giving their voice greater influence than constant conversation ever could achieve. The strongest communicators remain lifelong students. Quiet people constantly observe successful leaders, learn from different experiences, and improve their communication skills through daily practice. They understand that mastery is built through consistent growth rather than natural talent alone. Every conversation becomes another opportunity to refine their character and deepen their understanding of human behavior. This commitment to learning quietly separates extraordinary communicators from ordinary speakers over the years. Patience allows quiet people to recognize opportunities others completely overlook, while impatient individuals rush toward immediate conclusions. They carefully evaluate situations before making important decisions. This thoughtful approach reduces mistakes and builds confidence in their judgment. Friends, colleagues, and family members naturally seek advice from someone who consistently demonstrates wisdom through careful observation. Quiet patience becomes an invisible strength that influences people without demanding attention or recognition from anyone. The journey toward quiet influence is not about changing your personality. It's about refining your habits, strengthening your mindset, and communicating with greater intention. Every small improvement compounds over time, creating remarkable results in relationships, leadership, and personal growth. But before this audiobook reaches its conclusion, two final lessons remain. Together, they reveal the lasting legacy of mastering calm, confident, and purposeful communication. Quiet people never allow temporary emotions to control permanent relationships. Before reacting, they pause, reflect, and choose words that build understanding instead of creating regret. This habit protects trust during difficult moments and prevents unnecessary conflict. Emotional intelligence is not about hiding feelings, but expressing them wisely. People naturally respect those who remain composed under pressure because calmness demonstrates strength, maturity, and confidence far more effectively than emotional reactions ever can. One overlooked advantage of quiet communication is the ability to inspire without forcing opinions. Quiet individuals share ideas with confidence while respecting the freedom of others to think differently. This creates conversations based on mutual respect instead of control.
When people feel their opinions are valued, they become more open to new perspectives. Genuine influence always grows through understanding, patience, and trust, rather than pressure, fear, or manipulation of any kind. Quiet confidence also teaches the importance of protecting your energy. You cannot influence every person or solve every disagreement. Wise communicators know when to invest their attention and when to simply move forward. This discipline keeps their minds peaceful and their priorities clear. Instead of wasting time on negativity, they focus on meaningful relationships, personal growth, and conversations that create lasting value for everyone involved throughout life together. Every meaningful conversation leaves behind an invisible impression. Quiet people intentionally make that impression one of honesty, respect, and wisdom. They understand that reputation is built through countless small interactions repeated consistently over time. Every calm response, every thoughtful question, and every sincere act of listening strengthens the trust others place in them. Eventually, their character becomes their loudest message, speaking even before they begin any conversation. By practicing these principles daily, you gradually become someone whose presence naturally commands attention without demanding it. Your words gain greater meaning because they are supported by patience, integrity, and emotional awareness. Quiet influence is not a technique, but a way of living. One final lesson remains, bringing together every principle you've learned and revealing how lasting influence begins with mastering yourself above everything else. True influence isn't measured by how many people hear your voice. It's measured by how many people remember your presence after you've left. Quiet people understand this difference. They focus on creating meaningful experiences instead of seeking temporary attention. Their humility, patience, and sincerity leave lasting impressions that words alone cannot achieve. Real respect grows naturally when your actions consistently reflect the values you quietly communicate every single day to everyone. Every challenge you face is another opportunity to practice quiet confidence. Whether you're dealing with criticism, disagreement, or uncertainty, your response shapes how others perceive your character. Remaining calm doesn't mean avoiding difficult conversations. It means approaching them with wisdom instead of emotion. Each thoughtful response strengthens your reputation and proves that true confidence comes from self-control rather than dominating every discussion or seeking constant approval from others around you. Quiet people recognize that every person has a story worth understanding. Instead of making quick judgments, they listen with curiosity and empathy. This habit creates deeper relationships built on trust and respect. People naturally open their hearts to those who genuinely care about understanding them. By valuing connection above competition, quiet communicators create lasting influence that extends far beyond individual conversations and continues growing throughout every stage of life. Mastering conversations ultimately begins with mastering your own mindset. When you control your emotions, thoughts, and reactions, you naturally communicate with greater clarity and purpose. Quiet individuals never allow external chaos to disturb their inner peace. This emotional stability becomes their greatest advantage in every relationship. Others feel secure around them because calmness inspires confidence, and confidence quietly inspires trust without demanding recognition or attention from anyone. You've now uncovered the principles that allow quiet people to influence conversations with confidence, patience, and wisdom. These lessons become powerful only when practiced consistently in everyday life. Every thoughtful conversation is another opportunity to strengthen your character and inspire others through your presence. One final chapter remains, bringing every idea together, revealing the ultimate secret behind lasting influence, meaningful relationships, and genuine personal leadership. From this moment forward, challenge yourself to speak with intention instead of impulse. Listen more carefully than before, observe more deeply than ever, and allow silence to become one of your greatest strengths. Every conversation offers another opportunity to demonstrate wisdom through calmness and respect. Small improvements practiced daily eventually transform your communication style, making confidence feel natural instead of forced. Lasting change always begins with consistent action, not perfect beginnings. Never underestimate the quiet power of kindness. A thoughtful question, genuine attention, or a patient response can leave a deeper impact than the most impressive speech. People rarely remember every word you say, but they always remember how you made them feel. By choosing empathy over ego, you create relationships built upon trust, understanding, and respect. Those relationships become one of life's greatest sources of happiness and meaningful success. The world doesn't need more people competing to be the loudest voice. It needs individuals willing to become careful listeners, thoughtful communicators, and emotionally intelligent leaders. Every time you choose understanding over judgment, patience over reaction, and purpose over noise, you strengthen your character. Quiet confidence isn't hidden weakness. It is visible strength expressed with humility, wisdom, and unwavering self-control through every conversation and every important decision you make. Thank you for spending this time investing in your personal growth. The principles you've discovered today have the power to transform not only your conversations, but your relationships, leadership, and future. Don't simply admire these ideas. Practice them every single day. Quiet influence is earned through consistent action. Until our next audiobook, keep learning, keep growing, and remember that the strongest voice in any conversation is often